I'm Tim McGarry from Epoxy Flooring Co. And as of today, we have installed thousands of epoxy floors across all sorts of different industries and many homes. And today I want to talk to you about hot tire pickup. Imagine this. You've just spent thousands of dollars on your garage floor, you park the car in overnight, you drive out the next morning, and the floor sticks to your tires. Oh my God. It's called hot tire pickup. It is a super real problem. No one likes talking about it. Today I'm going to tell you exactly why it happens and precisely what you've got to do to avoid it. So what is hot tire pickup? No one likes talking about this industry. It is really a widespread problem and it is avoidable most of the time. Hot tire pickup is the phenomenon where you drive the car in, your car tires, if we're talking in Celsius, might be 60 to 70 degrees, even in the middle of winter, even if you've taken a short trip around the block, those tires turn over lots and lots of times and create a crazy amount of heat in the tire. You drive in, your tire, remember, 60 to 70 degrees Celsius, parks on the floor. Rubber, remember back to our grade 8 science days, when rubber gets heated, it expands. So you drive in, your car sits on the coating that you've just put down, and it puts 60 to 70 degrees of heat into that coating. That coating can get activated or reactivated, which means that it might have cured, but then when you apply heat to it, at a certain point, it will start to activate again. Now, if you used a cheap epoxy, or heaven forbid, you've used paint, what will happen is the tire will shrink by a little bit. It's got hundreds of kilos of pressure on it, and it has warmed up the coating. That can reactivate that coating. Then, as the coating's cooling and the tires are cooling, we're putting all that pressure on the floor. And then when you go to drive out, you will find that that coating will stick to the tire. And because it got heated as it was left there overnight, for example, it has allowed that to get reactivated and peels off the concrete. There's 6 points I mentioned for what you can do to make sure it doesn't happen to you. Number one, it's all about the preparation, people. If you're going to do it yourself, grind that sucker. Get rid of all the contaminants. Get rid of the latents off the top. You want to profile it. When we're grinding it, imagine I've got a block of butter. I get a fork and I run it through it and it creates grooves in it. That's what we want to do when we grind your concrete. Put the little grooves in it. Why, I hear you ask? That's an excellent question. It's because that increases the surface area of the epoxy. We can put our epoxy on top and it's got more stuff to grip onto than it does if it's just on a perfectly flat surface. Increasing the surface area done through concrete grinding preparation, one of the best things you can do to avoid hot tire pickup. Number two, buy good epoxy. This is the difference between going to the DIY kits or even paving paints that claim that they're strong enough to be under car tire versus going to wholesalers where I might shop and getting products that have a good quality amount of resin in them so that they stick to the ground. If you try and cut corners doing this, you might as well put paint on the floor because it's just going to come off. So don't look to use the cheapest epoxies or you will regret it. Number three, use a good installer. If you're not going to do it yourself, and that's fine, you're going to use someone like me or someone else, just make sure that they are a good installer and they know what they're doing. So you want to be asking them questions about, I've heard about this thing called hot tire pickup. What do you do to prevent it? There's certain things such as grinding the concrete. Ask them about the type of epoxies they're using. If they're going super cheap, how are they pulling that off? Are they cutting corners? Are they using products that are a lot cheaper, therefore don't have the same strength? Also talk to them about climatic conditions. So when epoxies get put down, when top coats get put on, they need to be aware of the conditions that they're doing it under so that they can make sure that the products cure properly and get strong enough to withstand car tires being on them. Remember price. If you go super cheap, you will get a cheap product. If you get a couple of different quotes and they all seem to be fairly reasonable in price, think about spending the money to sit right at, in the middle or up the top end. If you go right down the bottom, you will often find out that you're going to have to do that job twice and that gets pretty expensive. Number five, car mats. There's a reason that car showrooms put them down. So if you see car showrooms and they've got beautiful epoxy floors, they will often have mats underneath them. I always thought it was to make them look more car showroomy and professional. But having done some car showrooms, I now know after speaking to the people that work there, the reason they have them there is because car tyres leach this chemical called 6-ppd, and that can have an effect on coatings and cause them to come off the floors. So if you put a car mat under your own tyres at home, you'll eliminate any problem with, it's called plasticizer migration, but also the heat from the tyres goes into the mat, gets dispersed, and also a vastly reduced chance that your tyre will heat up the coating and be able to pull it off. Last, warranty. There are good systems out there that actually provide warranties against hot tyre pickup. So when you're talking to someone about getting your garage done, say to them, hey, let's talk warranty. What's the story with yours? Does it cover hot tyre pickup? Because if it does, you've got some peace of mind. And if it doesn't, you probably need to start asking more questions. There we have it, people. Hot tyre pickup. No one's really talking about it. We all need to, because it does happen, unfortunately. But with the really good preparation, keeping an eye on using good quality epoxy products, possibly some car mats if you think you're going to be particularly susceptible to it because you've got a ginormous car, for example, shouldn't be an issue. And remember, there are products out there that have warranties that will cover against it. So if you want super peace of mind, follow those tips, and I look forward to hearing that your garage floor stayed there under your car tyres for years and years and years.